Welcome to This Explainer. Look, if you're getting a little tired of paying premium ribeye prices but still want to seriously elevate your home steak game, you are in exactly the right place. Today, we're exploring a fantastic, budget-friendly alternative that brings high-end taste right to your dinner plate, the flap steak. Okay, let's dive into this. We're going to cover the butcher's best secret, check out the anatomy of the flap steak, figure out how to tenderize a tough cut, hit the grill for perfection, and finally, master slicing against the grain. Let's go. Section 1. The butcher's best secret, a hidden gem. We all know high-quality meats cost a pretty penny, right? Tenderloins, short loins, ribeyes, they're absolutely incredible, but they just aren't everyday purchases for most of us. So here's the real question. Do you want premium steak on a budget? Because there's this hidden gem sitting right there at the butcher counter that delivers robust, beefy flavor without breaking the bank. And honestly, it's a cut you might have walked right past. Enter the flap steak, or as you might know it from French bistros, the bavette. Basically, it's a thin, fibrous, and kind of chewy cut from the bottom sirloin. Now, I know fibrous and chewy sounds like a bad thing, but hear me out. Because of its coarse grain, this tough working muscle is literally a sponge for flavor. Treat it right, and it delivers a crazy high-end taste. Moving on to Section 2, Anatomy of Flap Steak. Know what you buy. So, flap steak actually suffers from a bit of an identity crisis. People mix it up with flank steak or skirt steak all the time. But check this out. While flank steak comes from the flank primal and has a tighter green, flap steak actually comes from the bottom sirloin butt, way down closer to the round and the shank. It's got a much coarser, looser texture. Sure, both give you that rich, beefy flavor and are great for quick grilling, but they are absolutely different cuts. And adding to the whole identity crisis, this cut hides behind a bunch of aliases depending on where you are. In France, you'll order a bavette. Down in Brazil, it's a fraldinha. Argentina and Uruguay call it polopon de vacío. Up in New England, here in the US, you'll see it chopped up and sold as sirloin tips or steak tips. Sometimes it's even just called bistro steak. Knowing these names is super helpful so you know exactly what to ask your local butcher for. Physically, you're looking at a pretty substantial, long, narrow piece of meat. We're talking 15 to 17 inches in length, usually weighing in right around 2 to 4 pounds. And because it's just so long and thin and heavily tapered at the ends, it actually requires some very specific handling to get right. All right, Section 3. Tenderizing a tough cut. Kitchen chemistry. Chef Michael Taus sums this up perfectly. He notes that thanks to its porous texture, the marinade can deeply penetrate, tenderizing the meat and infusing it with flavor. It acts exactly like a sponge. This makes it the absolute perfect candidate for a marinade. A good one doesn't just sit on the outside. It dives deep to physically break down those tough fibers before you even fire up the grill. So here's a foolproof way to do this. Step 1, you need a base of oil and acid. Even just the slight acidity of a really good olive oil gets to work breaking down those muscle fibers. Step 2, pack it with aromatics. Think fresh shallots, garlic, chopped rosemary. Step 3, bring the heat with some red pepper flakes plus kosher salt and black pepper. Puree the whole shebang into a paste and coat that meat evenly. Now, time is totally your best friend here. If you're in a pinch, a minimum of 1 to 4 hours works for a subtle favor. But the real game changer? The optimal move is 12 hours. Leave it in the fridge overnight. That completely maximizes both the flavor infusion and the deep tenderization. Just a heads up, though. Don't push it much past 12 hours, or those bold flavors will totally mask the natural beefy taste of the steak. Which brings us to Section 4. Grilling to perfection. The hot and fast method. The absolute best way to cook flap steak is hot and fast. You want to grill or pan-sear this over direct high heat. The whole goal here is to build up this beautifully charred, caramelized crust on the outside before the thin inside has a chance to overcook. Oh, and one crucial pro tip, make sure to wipe off the excess marinade paste before it hits the grates. Otherwise, all those little garlic and shallot bits, they're going to burn and taste super bitter. 130. That is your magic number. You want to pull this steak off the heat right when the internal temperature hits 130 degrees Fahrenheit for a perfect medium rare. And because this cut is so thin, we're literally only talking 4 to 6 minutes per side. So whatever you do, do not walk away from the grill. Listen, flap steak is incredibly unforgiving with temperatures, so you've got to stick to these rules. First, avoid serving it rare. If it's undercooked, that loose grain texture turns squishy and honestly pretty unappetizing. Your sweet spot is medium rare to medium, right in that 130 to 140 degree pocket. And finally, avoid well done at all costs. Pushing it past medium just tightens all those fibers right back up, leaving you with a dry, chewy piece of leather. Okay, section 5, slicing against the grain, the crucial final step. So we always hear chefs shouting, slice against the grain. But why does slicing direction actually matter so much? Well, as you'll see, how you wield your knife literally does the mechanical work of chewing for you. Think of it this way. The grain in a flap steak is like a bundle of thick, tough ropes running lengthwise down the meat. If you slice with the grain, your teeth have to work overtime chewing through those long ropes. But if you slice against the grain, cutting perpendicular to those lines, you're chopping those long ropes into tiny, easy-to-chew pieces. The result? Juicy, tender meat that practically melts in your mouth. Because this cut is uniquely long and tapered, here is your foolproof carving guide. Step 1, always let the meat rest uncovered for 10 to 15 minutes so the juices redistribute. Step 2, a 17-inch steak is way too long to easily slice against the grain in one go, right? So first, cut the whole thing into 3 or 4 smaller blocks with the grain. Then, step 3, take those smaller blocks, turn them 90 degrees, and slice them super thin against the grain. Once you've got those perfectly cooked, beautifully tender slices, the versatility of this budget cut really shines. I mean, one large flap steak can fuel incredible meals for days. We're talking classic Mexican carne asada tacos or fajitas. You can serve it up traditional style with some roasted potatoes, toss it into quesadillas, pair it with fried eggs for an epic breakfast, or throw it over some greens with a lemon vinaigrette for a killer steak salad. So, armed with the knowledge of how to identify, tenderize, grill, and perfectly carve this incredibly flavorful cut, are you ready to rethink the premium meats you buy and unlock the butcher's best-kept secret for yourself? Next time you hit the grocery store, try walking right past those pricey ribeyes. Ask your butcher for a flap steak and put this explainer to the ultimate taste test.